It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Renegade Brewery, and this is their Maharaja IPA. 5.1% ABV in a dark brown bottle with the Renegade kind of bottle cap going on there on the label. It says West Berkshire Brewery, independently brewed since 1995. We'll talk about West Berkshire Brewery in a moment. I feel it's very important to kind of include this brewery in its kind of previous form, because they're now called Renegade Brewery. But even like, look, Renegade Brewery all over the front of the label. Even those guys are kind of tipping their hat to the kind of previous owners of this brewery, the previous brands that they had. Mr. Chubb's Bitter, Old Boy, Maharaja IPA. Let's get the bottle opener, get it out into a glass and see what we get. Yeah, we'll cover all of those things in a moment, but I want to get the beer out. And I want to get the beer out into I don't want to pour it into a regular kind of pint pot. Maybe a lot of people would with this style of IPA from a, let's be honest, a more traditional background brewery. But I'm going to use something slightly more interesting as a glass, because I feel this glass and this beer kind of deserves it, you know? So we got a 1 finger white head, good levels of carbonation. It's amber in colour. There's a little bit of haze going on, just a small amount of haze going on in the glass. Let's get the aroma on the beer. I'm gonna say this reminds me of a Fuller's beer. Fuller's made an IPA, and it's called Bengal Lancer. I was thinking, I can't remember the name of it. Bengal Lancer. This reminds me of Bengal Lancer by Fuller's. If you ever tried that beer, there's a level of sweetness there. There's a level of the kind of the kind of biscuit malts coming through. Touch of licorice. Touch of peppery kind of spiciness coming through. And then almost kind of lemons and grapefruits and orange peels. It smells fantastic. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh yeah. Fabulous. Fabulous in a nod to the old way of brewing. Now, I've had some of the, I'll show you one of their cans here. What is this? This is their Queensbury Jack Session IPA. Same brewery, exactly the same brewery, but they put this beer in a can, 4.8% ABV, and it's very much New World. It's very kind of soft, light, kind of New England IPA like. I seem to remember it being that way. Juicy, all the flavours being in the middle, not much kind of either side going on, not much sweetness, not much bitterness. And yeah, very much New World beer. And that's where Renegade they've taken on this brand, West Berkshire Brewery. They've taken on the brewery, and they're kind of like going in two different directions. They have their New World stuff, and they have the West Berkshire Brewery stuff that people know and remember. So this beer has very much been developed by West Berkshire Brewery. You can tell, you can taste it. It's not so much kind of new world. It's more, the best way to describe this for me would be the Americans started brewing West Coast IPA. Bitter, full of flavour, but it was new. It was new, and everybody was kind of like, ooh, this is great. And, pardon me, I want to drink it. That then made its way over the Atlantic Ocean into the UK. You had new companies coming out. I say new, they're not new anymore. Your Brewdogs, your Thornbridges, your, South Wales, the other very, very early brewery, Otley Brewery, South Wales, the first people to really kind of take on board American hops. And then the big brewers, the bigger brewers, your Fullers, your Brains, your Badger, even to the smaller extent, your West Berkshire breweries, they didn't take much notice in all of that. They were like, no, we're brewing our best bitters and we're our good old boys and whatever, until there was so much noise. There was so much noise in regards to American craft beer that they decided to have a go themselves. And this is the best way to describe these kind of like, I call them regional brewery attempts at New World IPA. And that is the beers very much hold on to their sweetness. It's almost as if the old regional breweries of the past, if you like, they're still great breweries. I mean, Fuller's, brilliant brewery. They can't quite let go. They can't quite let go of producing the kind of malt bombs of a beer. So they make a malt bomb of a base of the beer, and then they hop it kind of quite crazily, actually. They kind of bang a load of hops in, and then it becomes kind of like really sweet over here and then really bitter over here. And I call it kind of like, yeah, exactly that kind of regional brewery's attempt at brewing New World American style West Coast IPA, which is now not New World at all anymore, is it? That it's been around for such a long time. So I suspect this Maharaja IPA is West Berkshire Brewery's attempt, and now following it on, because unfortunately West Berkshire Brewery didn't make it with all of the things going on around the world, the situation in 2019 and the cost of living and the European Union thing, Britain leaving them. They didn't make it, unfortunately, but Renegade took them on. They got a New World kind of branch of beers where they're brewing kind of new and funky beers, lagers and kind of amazing IPAs. But I think for the regular customer, the regular kind of West Berkshire customer, they would remember this. They would remember it. So I think that's the reason. It's almost like they had an obligation to carry on brewing the West Berkshire Brewery beers, because of course they had lots of customers who know and remember their beers, and they're good beers. Good old boy, Mr. Chubbs, Maharaja, they're great beers. They're great beers in their own right. But I'm just kind of it's my job to kind of class something, and it's my job to kind of like point out to you guys, if you were to buy this beer, this is what you would get. So, if you're a fan of kind of regional brewed IPA, American style IPA, then this will be right up your street. It's malty, it's sweet, it's bitter, and it's hoppy. My rating. I really like it. I really like it. It's, as I mentioned, I picked it up. I thought it was a bit like Fuller's Bengal Lancer, and I like Bengal Lancer. I haven't seen it for a number of years, but I still like that beer. This is an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.